Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be doing checker from HackTheBox. This is a box sort about solid hard. And yeah, let's get on to the video. As always, I'm starting by putting my terminals here. I'm starting by pinging the IP address. So do ping minus count for 3 for 10, 10, 11, 56. Do get a response back. So I'll start by doing mmap scan. So I'll do mm minus C for default scripts, but information was kind of ports on the IP. Doing this, I'll do minus verbose. We'll get a total of 3 ports open. Port 80 open for HTTP, port 22 open for SSH, and also port 8080 open for HTTP. I'm going to start visiting port 80. Here we do get a checker.htb / login. I'm going to put this into my /etc host. So VN to /host. We'll do this for 10.10, 11, 1156 for checker.htb. We refresh this. And here we do get a book stack for a email and a password. So I'm going to be trying for like admin at checker.htb. Also do this for pass. And the reason I try this is because I want to check if we have a username and password, or if it does give like an output like wrong username or wrong password. That's the reason I do check for that. Also do have this for a checker.htb on port 8080. Most likely it's going to be a HTTP server. And we do have this for HTTP. Do the same thing here. We'll just do admin pass. And we do get a login credentials do not respond or do not correspond. Looking at that map scan, we have a total of 3 ports in, 3 ports, port 80, port 22, and also port 8080. So I'm going to start by checking for a team pass exploit. So do a team pass exploit. Let's look into some documentation first to see exactly what we are exploiting. We do have an SQL injection here for the team pass. We see that this is vulnerable SQL injection due to improper input sanitization. This will exploit the via team pass authorized API endpoint. So looking at the POC, we have the parameter or the variable specified to API index.php authorize. We can easily curl this. So I'm just going to put this into here. I'm going to curl this, see what we do get. We do curl -x for a get parameter or get method. And we do see that method get is not supported. We do this for a post. We do get a login must be type string. So it does seem like this is vulnerable to SQL injection. Let's go back to see if there's any links for exploit DB. There is for 3.0.021. Just confirm as well. I'm gonna check for like the version. Doesn't seem like there is a version under here, but it does seem like we have a valid path for this authorized API. So I'm gonna wget this onto my machine. We'll do wget. I'm gonna output it to like an exploit exploit.py. We'll just do a chmod +x for exploit. We'll do a Python 3 for exploit.py. We'll specify the base URL. What is on port 8080. And I did find 2 users. A user is admin and a user as Bob for the credentials, which are going to be in hashes. So I'll put this into a hash.txt, and the same thing for Bob. So we'll write quit. So we'll do a John. We'll do a minus word list is equal to user share word list rockU.txt for a hash.txt. We do have 1 hash cracked already. So before I do continue cracking, I'll do a John minus show for hash.txt. And we have a password as cheerleader. So I'm gonna try this for admin. We can log in. We don't do anything. We'll do this for Bob. We can log in. And now we're logged in as team pass. So I'm guessing this is gonna be a team pass is to store passwords in this. So I'm just gonna go to Bob Axis. Let's refresh this just to make sure there's no extra passwords. We'll go to bootstack login. Bootstack login. I don't think, can we click on these? There we go. So now we have SSH access. Let's copy the password. I'm going to put this into my leaf pad. Or actually, I'll just put this into like a passwords.txt. We have the account for reader followed by the password. And this is going to be SSH access. Also have a bootstack login. We have the account for bob@checker.htb and also that password for my secret password. I'm going to log into bootstack for bob@checker.htb. And the password for reader or for Bob. We'll get that password, put that in there, and we're able to log into bootstack, right? We also have that reader hiccup publicly Genesis. We'll SSH into reader at 10:10, 11:59 or 56. We press enter on that and we do get a verification code. We don't know the verification code, so I'm guessing this has to do something with bootstack, which later on we can do, right? So let's go into bootstack. We have a basic backup with CP. We have some examples here. We do have a home backup. I'm guessing these are, I'm not sure if these would be included in actual examples of the file structure on the Linux server or like the destination, right? So I'm not sure if this is a real parameter or a real file path, but we can keep that in mind. We also have file permissions. Seems like these are just file permissions for read, write, and execute. Linux basics, ls, cd, and these are just nodes for basic Linux commands. So I'm going to go to books. I want to see, since this is a application that's pre-built, I want to check for a book stack and check for like an exploit. Let's check for some security releases for this. Anytime like during a pen test, if you do find like logging into like application, CMS, always look at the most recent security releases for like the versions. We can confirm this as well if we go into to see if this is actually vulnerable to 23.10.3. It doesn't seem like it's vulnerable. We'll do version. Actually, just showed 23.10.2 actually. So this is this should be vulnerable. Looking into the release, we see that this is a security release that addresses a vulnerability in image handling that can be exploited from SSRF to read the contents from the server. So we know we can do a SSRF to read contents from the server. And we'll check as well, it's showing an advice to really upgrade the users or untrusted users to make sure they don't have permissions to create, edit, update a page, which this should be to create a book. We'll see if we can create a book right now, which we are able to. Let's go back, let's check for some more. We'll go into this LFR via blind SSRF. This one doesn't give too much information. We'll go into this one. And here we do see that he is logged in. We can search pages as Markdown and HTML code. See if we have exploitation. So it's important to know that we note the exploit can be sent to either one of these two endpoints, the parameter for HTML for this save draft and the save draft 7 or the book draft 7. We can make sure, I'm guessing this is going to be while we do edit. Well, once we do create a book, we can edit it and see if we can go back and actually send this within burp to see what this does give us, right? I'm going to open these within, let's open this open image in a new tab. And let's go back up. He is using a script for PHP filter chains Oracle exploit. So we'll keep that in mind. And we do need to do a simple modification within this chains Oracle exploit. So we might get an error when running this, but we can give this a shot, right? So now we do know the file paths. We can close this out. And we still do have is the screenshot of this command that we can run, right? So I'm going to go to code. We have the same parameters as which he does have for like the verb, the file, and the data and the verb. So I'm going to git clone this repository. So I'll just run git clone. We'll do a PHP filter chains, ls-la. We'll do a Python 3 for filters chains _ exploit. We can do a minus help. And we can start by going in order, right? We'll just do a minus target. We'll go back. He does have a minus target for HTTP for checker.htb for the file path. Let's start by creating a new book. So I'll do a new, this for new. Also, let's go to, let's do a, let's go back. I want to look at one more thing into his parameters or into his burp request, which he does have. This one right here. We'll close this out. So we just need these two images to really to exploit this. Look into his request. He has a put parameter, put method going into the save draft, which is the save draft, which we did look at. And he's putting all the parameters for like CSRF or the XCSRF, as well as the XRF token, the book stack session as well. And he does have a H1 tags for creating the page. So we'll start by doing that. So I'll just do this for new. We'll create a H1. So H1, we'll just do this for new. And I don't know if it's going to be for draft save or save page. So I'm just going to do this for both of them. Send this within burp for both requests. So we'll go to OK. We'll go to next. We'll go to start burp. So I'm going to go to proxy. We'll go to proxy settings for my specific address for 10.10.1496. 10.10.1496. We'll do this within burp as well. Let me just make sure. We'll do have config for 10.10.1496. HTTP. Save that. Now we do have that. So I'm going to send this within burp. Intercept on. Proxy. Or let's turn this off. Edit. HTTP. We'll save page. It's not going to this one. We'll just drop that. We'll go into edit. It's going to be we'll save the draft, and this is going to page 8. So he does have the same thing. We notice that we have the page 7 save draft. I'm going to send this with a repeater just to make sure it does not get lost. Okay, so let's start by running this command. So I'm going to go back to my terminals here. We'll do a minus target. We'll do a minus target for the URL. I usually like copying everything just to make sure I don't mistype anything. We have that. We'll go back to burp for this page 8. Same thing that you guys have. We'll do a minus file /etc password. We'll put this in parameters as well as for the target. We'll put this in quotations for the target for /the password. Next up we have a minus verb for, we'll put this for put, minus parameter. We'll put this for HTML, minus headers. We can do a semicolon, we'll put this into quotation marks. So I'm going to get the XCSRF first. I'm going to copy. Puts this in double quotations. Same for this. Put this double quotations, we'll do comma. Next, we'll go down into cookie. So we'll do cookie. Or cookie, and then specify the XSRF now for all the way to 3D. So we'll copy this all the way to 3D. We'll put a double here, quotation. So XSRF. Next, we'll get a book stack. So I'm going to go in order. So it's going to be book stack session now for 3D. And then next is going to be the team pass session for that. So the book stack and then team pass session. We have the team pass session, can pass. We'll do team pass session and J. We'll do a select. And simply here we can get the 55. I think it's the same one that we can find within Firefox. We can just go to inspect, go to storage, 55. We can find the same thing, right? Just want to make sure those match for this 558. That seems about it. We can close this out. There's semicolon. Run this one more time. We do need a, what else? We are missing the, I believe it's the content type. Yeah, we are missing the, we do comma, we are missing the content type. So the content type that he does have a different one. He is using a X or application form URL encode. So I'm just going to do the same thing that he does have. Application for, was it X form dash URL encode. Seems about right. So application X form dash URL encode. Specify a comma there. You can do cookie, and it seems about right. We do get an error handling duration. And we do get error for the valid base 64 encode. So within the documentation, I did showcase or tell us that we do need to edit the code. So I believe this is going to be within, let's go within core. So I'm just going to go to filters. We'll save into core. I'm going to be into requester.py. Under here, we can make sure that we don't get an error for base 64. We go to import, we need to import base 64. Seems about it. Seems about it. So now we can run this. We won't get an error anymore. Hopefully we can run this one more time and we don't get an error for the parameters, because since we're specifying parameters. Okay, so it doesn't seem to be working. I don't know. Before doing this machine, I don't know, it just takes, I don't know the reason why it doesn't work. I have like all the parameters set for this. However, I am going to copy this command again. I'm going to put this into my text editor and actually put this, I want to edit this myself. So, so I'm going to take off all the, how do you say, like XRF here, or the equal to, we'll just take this off to that. The session, we're going to create a new post. So a new book. We'll take off the team pass session, as well as we'll take off that as well, since I was trying different methods, but it does not want to work for some reason. So we have everything ready. We'll just go into X, or the CSRF. We'll go into disable burp. We'll go into books. Let's go to new, or not new, books. Create a new book. We'll just do final. I'm going to save book. Create new page. I'm going to do exactly how he does it. So I'm just going to do, I believe he does like a H1 tag. So H1 for new, or just do like final. H1. And I believe he has like something like final or something like that. Shown in the documentation for the video. So we'll create a new post. We'll go to HTB. Make sure this is on. This is saved 9 now. So we have this. I'm going to go to repeater. I'm going to save draft, and yeah, this is under save 9. So let's start by getting the X CSRF token. We'll get the, next we need the content type, your uncoded cookie. So the X CSRF. We'll copy that and take that off. Now we'll get that for the book stack session. We'll take off the semicolon, and then the team pass session, which is going to be for, let me just copy the whole thing for team pass session. And lastly, we have the JS tree, and we can go back under here. We'll go to inspect, go to storage. We'll get the name for the value. And that should be it for the last. So I'm going to copy this. Let's run this one more time. So after a while, we finally get the /etc password. I'm not too sure why it's not working like the first 3 tries. You know, doing this machine before, I would go into like page 8 or like page 9, page 10, and it just would not work. I would have to keep going within creating a new book, getting the new parameters, getting a brand new cookie, and specifying all the parameters just to get the /etc password, right? I'm not too sure. I'm not sure really why it wouldn't work for 8. I was trying it with the wrong URL, but then I changed it to 9 and I was able to work. But I'd recommend just copying the command. Make sure you do have the semicolons for each one. Specify the content type as well for application for UL encoded. And from there, just copy and paste, going down in order from burp sweep from the CSRF all the way to the JS tree select, and all the way to the storage within Firefox for the name parameter. Finally, we're able to get the /etc password. This is going to take a long time. The thing that we're able to exploit is to actually read files on the server. When we did SSH into reader, I believe it was for reader, let's do at 10:11:51. I did notice a auth code, or yeah, it was a auth code to log into SSH. We don't have the password. Let's go back into, let's cat our passwords.txt. For reader for hiccup, publicly Genesis. Here we have a verification code. So I'm going to go into, we'll do a Google Auth for, we'll go to verification code. We'll see if there's a verification code for SSH. So I'm going to disable Google Auth verification code SSH. Maybe we can, I don't think this is it. So I do want to check for path for Linux. So we have the documentation here for Google authentication. I'm guessing it's going to be authentication for a one-time code. If you don't know how auth keys work for Google, there's a time limit for about 30 seconds around there, but there needs to be a sync between the key. So you need to have the same key. Let's look for the path. It doesn't seem like there's a path maybe for SSH. So we have storage connectors, op. Let's search up Google Auth. Let's do a Google Auth. Let's do libpam for Google Authenticator PAM module. Let's see if we can find like a Google Auth or like a Google Auth Authenticator. And we have the file path for Google Authenticator. The thing is that looking back, there was some type of file path that we didn't mention before. Let's go into Bookstack. We have a basic backup with CP. I'm guessing it's going to be under /backup, home backup. So I'm going to start by getting this. So since we can read the file. I'm going to read the file for home backup, and then Google, I believe, let's check the path. Was that Google Authenticator? So we'll just do this under backup /home_backup, and then we'll get this Google _authenticator. We'll see if we can get the secret key. That doesn't seem to work. Let's see if there's another path under Bookstack. Backup, home backup. Backup, home backup. Let's check for maybe under backup. Doesn't seem to work. So I'm just going to do this for the username. So we'll do home. We'll do /home reader. It was backup home _backup. Home backup for Google Authenticator. Puts her on that. Doesn't seem to work. I guess we have the same /backup. Maybe it's not under the home. We'll do this for /backup, home backup, reader, Google Authenticator. Let's do the home reader, Google Authenticator. And there we go. So now we have the full path. So I'm guessing it just specified under the home, under the main directory for just /backup. So it's under /backup, home backup, home reader, and then Google Authenticator. Doing this, we can just wait and see what we get. After some time, we do finally get the secret key for Google Authenticator. We have this for DVD. I'm going to be using a tool called, I think this should be done, but I'm going to be using a tool called Oath. I believe it's Oath tool due to might help. We can start by specifying a TOTP. We'll do -B, specify the, just to double make sure we don't have any more the secret key. Just to see what's going on, we can do a -V verbose. And if we run this one more time, you'll see that we have the same code for the start time. So it usually starts from 1970 and all the way to the current time. So when we do the current time, it's matching with the server time. This is what generates that code, right? But mainly only because we have the secret key for Google Auth. We cancel this. So we'll do SSH into reader at 10:10:11:56. I'm gonna cap my passwords. We have the reader, password for reader. We have a verification code. Let's run this one more time. It did change now to 33 since we have the only 30 seconds to get the code. We do ID, and now I'm the reader. So I'm gonna start by doing some enumeration. We do have our user.txt. I'm gonna go under /var, go www, HTML. Thing under here, I'm gonna go under /opt. And we do have a book stack, a book stack under here. Directory, we have a env. Let's go into just nothing under here. We can go into team pass, nothing under here, and go into hash checker. And nothing under here, right? So I'm gonna run a sudo myself. We do have a check-leak-sh. We'll cut this out. Before doing that, I want to check out I can remove the file. We can't remove the file, right? So I'm gonna cut this out. Look at this. We do have a source for the env. This will be under the directory for opt hash checker. So if we go to Alice MySLA, we'll have multiple, we have that env file. I'm going to see if I can actually, we'll go into hash checker so I can cut this out. And it doesn't seem like we can cut this out. So I'm going to do the, so I'm going to go over here. I want to, since I can't view it myself as a user, as reader, I want to get the file path for, or this is under /opt hash checker. I want to get the file path and get that .env, and hopefully we can read that directory, right? I believe that's the only thing under here. So I'll press enter on this. Book, let's do book stack instead. Do env. And this seems to be working, right? So it's under, just gonna cd into there. It seems it's like it's under book stack for that env file. So from here, we're gonna wait, see the output, and see what we get. So I already do have the username and password for the database. The reason I want to, if I go back, the reason I want to go in the database is because if I do run a sudo myself, we don't have the, we do need a user. If I do this for reader, we don't have a user found in the database. So we need to log into the database, and doing that, we can view, we basically viewed it with the filter again, the filter chains. However, that takes too long, so I do have the password for bookstack and followed by this password. So do mysql -u, run this as bookstack. We'll do -p. We'll go to show databases. We're going to use a show tables. We'll do a select, start from, I guess we'll just do users. And we have guest, admin, and Bob. So now if we go back, we do this for the user for Bob, you'll see now we have the shared memory for the temp location. So going back, I want to run a sudo-mysa. I want to start by transferring this binary within to IDA. So I'm going to cat this out. We have a check leak. I'm going to copy this check leak to my directory. We'll do a python 3 minus m http.serve from port 8081. We'll do control shift O. We'll do wget http 10 10 11 56 on port 8081 for we have that check underscore leak. So I'm going to transfer this to my Windows machine, and we can start by decompiling the source code and viewing what this binary is doing, right? So looking at disassembling within IDA, you can find the source code. You can decompile it within IDA and then get an estimate of the source code. This is going to be the main. The main thing I want to talk about here is going to be for the sleep. There is a sleep here for 1 second, which means there is a gap, or this is going to be a vulnerability for a race condition. When there is a command being executed between with another process, we can write into the memory to successfully execute the command that we want. So in this case, we have a sleep function call, which is being called for like a which is being called, and then that means that's going to be a 1 second gap, which we can write to the shared memory. This is being followed by, if we check the notified user as well, you see that it's calling the commands for MySQL. It's calling the snprint, which is the formatted calculated string for this. You see that's calling the snprintf, which is the command that's going to be executed into the MySQL query for the command, right? So, and then from there we have pop it for the command, which is going to execute it. And then doing this, I really do have a since we do have that 1 second sleep time for the race condition, I already do have a code which I'm going to show you guys back on my Linux machine. We can run like a while true loop, execute it, and then we should get a shell as we can run a bit/bash -p, and we are root, right? Okay, so now we're back on my Linux machine. I'm going to cat my run.c. I did use AI to generate this. I myself actually have to go back into IDA and get a deeper understanding of this, or a deeper understanding of the code and the compilement and see how the program exactly works. But using AI, we can definitely make this easier for us, right? So we get the current Unix time, since this is needed for the v4 that was mentioned within IDA for the specific Unix time segment. We see the random number generator with the current time for v4. We just attach the shared memory. Same here, we just write the payload as well. And we do have our, let me see, we do have our command for chmod +s for bin.sh, which is what we're going to be executing, right? So I'm going to now into run.c, put this in here. With gcc into run.c, and we'll output it to run. We'll do a while true. We'll just do a while true. We'll run this, and we can do done. We do have our code here. our code here so we can SSH into reader at 10.10.11.51 or 56. Let's cat our passwords.txt. We do have our code now. Turn on that. We'll do sudo -l, sudo -u, run this for root. We do this for Bob. So now we do get an error. If we do ls myself for /bin/bash, we can run a /bin/bash -p. We do ID. Now we're going to root, cd into root, ls myself, and we cat our root.txt. Well, guys, if you're interested in the video, don't like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.